Will Batman be able to unravel his greatest mystery to date? Will the Dark Knight be able to solve the murder of Bruce Wayne? Well, let's hop into the pages of Future State Dark Detective number 2 and find out together, shall we? So then, as we join the book, the vigilante formerly known as Bruce Wayne is pounding the pavement, however, with a little bit of a twist. We see a group of hungry kids trying to steal some empty barrels from a warehouse, and you think Batman's gonna swoop down and beat them up, but actually quite the opposite. Batman has actually come to do battle with the cyber soldiers of the Magistrate. It's here we can see that even though this Batman is a little older and a little rough around the edges, he can still totally bring the fight when he has to. Now, much like the previous issue, Dark Detective number 2 tells a lot of its story out of order as we actually flash back to the fateful night wherein Bruce Wayne was cornered in that alley by Peacekeeper 1, the leader of the Magistrate. Again, this is important for a number of reasons. One, Peacekeeper knew exactly where to target Bruce Wayne and furthermore knew of his double identity as Batman. Furthermore, we discover the only reason that Bruce was able to walk away from his run-in with the Magistrate is because, and you're positively gonna love this, there was another corpse floating in the river at the same time Bruce jumped into it. And after a delayed explosion from one of Batman's own pulse grenades, Peacekeeper 1 couldn't exactly be certain if Bruce was alive or dead or not. Now, because Batman is on the run from the very technologically advanced Magistrate, it means that he can't be too picky about where he lays his head at night, so he has a roommate now. This guy's name is Noah, and he is a hardcore conspiracy theorist who believes in everything from aliens to mind-controlling drugs in the water. Though thankfully for Jeff Marks, Bruce's new assumed name, this guy doesn't actually have any opinions on superheroes or vigilantes. Boy, that sure is convenient. Seriously, this guy's the Dale Gribble of the DC universe, and the more I think about him, the more I love him. He sees dark secrets and conspiracies in everything except for the guy standing in front of him with the dark secret. With his new base of operations, my name is Jeff gets hard to work trying to figure out the connections between Mayor Nakano, the Magistrate, and the murder of Bruce Wayne. And in classic film noir fashion, Batman figures the best way to unravel this mystery is to follow the money, particularly 3 brand new tech companies that sprung up overnight in the wake of the Joker War and are now almost entirely responsible for outfitting the Magistrate with advanced armor and weapons. In fact, after very little digging, Bruce realizes that the presidents of these companies are all people that he actually knows, large adult sons of some of the wealthiest and well-to-do families in Gotham who could fuck up a pot of coffee on their best days, and yet somehow now have become some of the wealthiest and most powerful men in all of Gotham. To really connect all the dots, though, the Dark Detective is going to have to do some good old-fashioned breaking and entering. It's while doing this, though, he ends up coming upon perhaps one of the Magistrate's most insidious new inventions. Nano drones, tiny little spy machines about the size of your average hummingbird. They tip off the Magistrate to Batman's location, and he's forced to make a tactical retreat. Though admittedly this was not a fruitless endeavor, Bruce thinks he finally knows now how Peacekeeper 1 found out that he was Batman. He was spying on him with these little micro drones, and yes, before you even have to ask, indeed Bruce Wayne and Lucius Fox did come up with the original designs for the nano drones only to have them stolen. This second issue actually ends on something of a funny note as Bruce for a second believes that the Magistrate traced him back to his crash pad only to realize that the commotion upstairs was his roommate destroying his TV thinking it was spying on him. Now that's where the main story ends, but because this is Future State, we also got a fun little backup story to check out. In this case, it involves Jason Todd the Red Hood. Now, as we had heard in the pages of Robin Eternal, Jason Todd had actually forsaken his Bat family and joined up with the Magistrate, and here we find out what that exactly means. It seems that in the Future State, Jason Todd is some Akira-style mask hunter. And if you're probably thinking to yourself, wow, did the really former street kid, former criminal, former superhero really betray so much of himself to go work for the Magistrate? He must hate himself. The answer is he sure does. In fact, in a nice little bit of writing, Jason doesn't actually say anything for the good first half of this story and just has people talk around him like he's not there. Eventually, things start to heat heat up, though, when Jason is put on a brand new case. It seems that a new Red Hood gang is on the loose in Gotham City, and not only are they attacking the Magistrate, but they're actually stealing from the rich and giving to the poor. Which adds another group of people on the ever-growing list of people who positively hate Red Hood's guts for existing. Luckily, Jason doesn't have to go it alone because he has a partner in this brand new endeavor, Rose Wilson, aka the Ravager, and yes, they are indeed seeing each other off work hours. Also, hats off to the artist on this one because Rose just looks cute as a button in this one. Look at those little eyes. They look like, well, buttons, actually. Red Hood and Ravager actually have themselves a fun little buddy cop dynamic. Ravager has no problem killing the mask they bring to the Magistrate, while Red Hood, actually going against much of his character and other stuff, goes out of his way to make sure that he brings all of his targets in alive. Our protagonist managed to chase back the new Red Hood to a soup kitchen that he was filling with supplies. It's here they discover that he actually wasn't acting of his own accord, as his fancy red helmet was actually loaded up with Mad Hatter tech, meaning that they were being controlled remotely. In fact, this leads Jason to believe that maybe a lot of the different masked individuals he's brought to justice for the Magistrate were being controlled too. Now, using her supervillain connections, Ravager is actually able to narrow in on the Mad Hatter's last place of residency, and of course, it's a creepy Alice in Wonderland themed putt-putt golf course. Here's the thing though, after Ravager and Red Hood do some digging, they realize that Jervis Tetch is dead, like long dead, meaning someone else has stolen his technology. Oh, but it gets so much worse as Ravager ends up getting a call from the Magistrate about her brand new target, and yep, that's right, it's Jason Todd, everybody, dun dun dun! And so that was Dark Detective issue number 2, everybody, and I gotta say, there was a lot of really cool stuff going on in this title. I particularly enjoy that it's living up to its name as a detective story first and foremost. Tamaki gives us a Batman who has to pound the pavement, look for clues, and do it without his amazing tech or money to back him up. In fact, this actually fills me with hope for what the book is going to become when Future State is done with and Tamaki stays on for Detective. The art team also continues to turn in some stellar work here too. I'm getting a ton of really nice Blade Runner and Akira-esque vibes here. And I'm really interested to see how all of this is ultimately going to shake out, which is why I give this one another 8 out of 10.
Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Jewel, and if you're seeing me right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, which I am very appreciative of. It really helps drive engagement and retention and all that other good YouTube stuff. So does liking and commenting. Wink wink. If you like my content too, you should check out my Patreon page. We just redid all the tiers, so there's a ton of great rewards. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month, and well, it would just really help me out. It's never expected, but always appreciated. So until next time, everyone, I've been Cape Joel, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.